Welcome back to the channel. This is Dan Schwartz again with the 80/20 Investor Academy. This video is all about the 5 best tools for delegation in your real estate investing business. I get asked this question all the time. I've delegated a lot of things in my career and have in fact outsourced most of my entire operation to other people. So I will try to impart as much wisdom as I can in this 10-minute video and hopefully give you 5 tools that you can use today that'll help you delegate things in your business. So the main thing I want you to be aware of is that the worst habit you can have is feeling like you have to do everything yourself in your business. That's, oh, it's just going to take me 20 seconds to do this. It'll be faster if I just do it myself. That is the most dangerous habit that you can have, because what happens by saying that I'll just do it real quick myself, you're telling your brain that it's okay to do all of those things whenever they pop up forever yourself. And it becomes what I call death by paper cuts, right? You have 1,000 little paper cuts all over your body. You're going to bleed out and you're going to burn out, and you're not going to be able to actually free yourself to focus on more high leverage stuff. So the solution here is to focus on the 80/20, and specifically the 20% that's going to bring you 80% of the results you're looking for, and you're going to want to outsource the rest of the 80%. And you're going to use these tools to do it. A lot of these are things that I use daily in my business, and you're going to learn a framework called the 80/20 handoff, which is a method in which to hand stuff over to someone so that it is super clear what that final outcome is that you're looking for. The second thing is going to be using a company wiki, and I'm going to show you the ones that we use. The third thing is using a stoplight system to make sure that your team and everybody on your team is on track at the weekly level. The fourth thing is an email tool that really is I can't live without. And then 5 project management tools that will help you make sure that everybody's on the same page and that things are actually getting done. So let's get into it with the 80/20 handoff. So this is the 80/20 handoff. It is a way to delegate something and have full confidence that the person you delegated it to knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And this is also a great way when you have a new idea for a bigger project to execute. It's a great way for you to get your vision for that project out of your head, so that when you have that first meeting with your team, everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So the first thing that you're going to do with the 80/20 handoff, the first thing you want to do is think about what problem that you're solving. Let's say it's hiring a new lead manager, right? That's the big project. You write the new lead manager. What problem are we solving? Well, I don't have enough time in the day to handle all these incoming leads, and the leads that we do get a hold of are really bad quality. So we need someone that can actually qualify some of these leads, so we're spending time with the right people. Boom, that's the problem that you're solving. You need to understand that before you delegate it to someone, okay? Don't assume that your team understands all the nuances of why you're deciding to execute this project. 2, what difference will it make? Well, our salespeople are going to have way more productive calls because they're going to be talking with better and better leads, which means that there's going to be more and more closings, which means that business is going to make more money, right? What will the result look like? So we talked about the outcome. We're going to have a full-time in-house lead manager on board. They're going to exist inside the CRM, basically handling all incoming calls from our direct mail. They're either going to hand off and schedule appointments for the closer on your team. That's what the result looks like. Success criteria are basically if this happens correctly and you do everything right, what does that look like? You have an amazing lead manager who's really good on the phones with people. They're going to be fully onboarded into the process of how to nurture and qualify leads. They're going to understand and have a playbook for how to use the CRM. They're going to understand how to do follow-ups. They're going to have their own account inside the CRM, and they're going to be able to get on the phone within the first week of hiring them. That's what the success criteria looks like, and you want to define that for the person you're delegating this task to. Again, you don't need to do this for every single task, but for bigger projects, I feel like most entrepreneurs just hand off big projects without really any context. This is the context right here. What's the cost of not doing it? Well, I don't have enough time to handle all these leads, and I'm probably just going to start letting them fall through the cracks, which means that we're going to be dumping money down the drain with our marketing. We're going to lose a bunch of deals, and in the process, I'm going to get really burnt out, and the whole company is going to lose money on their marketing. That's the cost of not doing it. It's good to spell out like best case scenario, worst case scenario. Then you talk about what the phases are of doing this. So write out the phases 1 through 6, just the major chunks of what has to happen here in your words, right? And then you can bring this worksheet to the table when you have that first project kickoff call. But the phases would be, write up the job posting, post it on Indeed, have your first round of interviews, begin training, create an account on your CRM, train them how to use the script and make their first call, whatever it is, right? Those are the phases of getting a lead manager on board. Again, this is just a quick example. And then the first steps would be like dialed in on this, just to get you in a state of momentum here. What are the first steps? Well, if it's hiring a lead manager, it would be to write roles and responsibilities for that job ad. Maybe it's create Indeed account or talk to a recruiter. And then maybe it is, sorry, I'm using my mouse here to write this. Have a call with your team to talk about the process that you're going to install this lead manager into. Boom. We've gone from understanding at a big picture what this product is all about down to the first steps that you're going to execute to make this happen. That's the first tool that I suggest. Every time you're dishing out a project to someone else on your team, this method of delegation really leaves there's no gray area here. And this is inspired by, I think it's called like the impact filter from Dan Sullivan. I just kind of repurposed it a little bit so that it makes more sense for the type of projects that real estate investors do. Okay, the second best tool that I would recommend is having a company wiki. Wiki is basically a source of collective knowledge and wisdom for how to run your business. Inside the 80/20 Investor Academy, we have something called the 80/20 operating system, which is a template inside of Notion. Notion is the tool that we use, and it doesn't actually come like this. This is a template that you only get if you're an 80/20 Investor Academy member, but this is just a great example of the type of information that can be displayed inside of Notion. You can put in the vision for your company. You can put in all of your goals and your links to your scorecards and your projectors. You can document all of your playbooks and how things are done. Everybody that's on your team can be in here. You can have a list of resources for all of your teams, tools that they should use, resources and trainings that they should have. It's basically infinite how many resources that you can have inside of this template. You can document all the meetings that you go on. And if you don't have a central place to store all of your company information, then it's only going to exist in your head. And we want to make sure that we get yourself out of that situation. This is where you put in all your core process maps for everything that you do. We show you how to build these and give you the templates for these inside the 80/20 Academy. And actually, if you're watching this video right now, you have the chance to get a copy of the Google version of that template. It has all the same things as Notion, but just in a Google Sheet form. If you go to join8020.com/template, you'll be able to download a copy of that 80/20 OS spreadsheet, which is kind of like step one for getting your company wiki up to speed. Another company wiki I like to use is one called Guru. I think it's getguru.com. And what it is it's a way to document quick little nuggets of wisdom that might be beneficial for your team in the near future so that they're not always bugging you for questions. So You can type in anything you want, like Facebook, for instance, and this is going to have a lot of little quick bite-size pieces of information for my team on lead gen Facebook campaign setup, right? Or qualified suggested friends link. Boom. It's a way to store links. It's a way to store scripts and quick little processes. And this gets updated pretty regularly, and you can access it from right here inside of this little widget on Chrome. There's also a full app where you can see all of the different little notes that you have. It's just the easy and quick way to have a centralized place for little bite-sized bits of information that don't need like a full SOP, for instance. Highly recommend checking out Guru. It's getguru.com. The next thing is the third tool that you need in your business for delegation is a stoplight. And you've heard it probably as KPIs or scorecard or metrics, whatever you want to call it. A stoplight is a way to track your weekly stats and see the patterns for how you're hitting those stats on a weekly basis every single week. Red means you're off track, green means you're on track. It's the simplest way to see trends and patterns in the way you execute your business. And luckily, this template here helps you calculate your top KPIs down to the weekly level, and it automatically turns red or green or yellow based on if you're close to hitting that target or not. If you go to join8020.com/template, you download the template. The first page of that template will show you exactly how to set up and calculate what your targets are for your real estate investing business, and get it down to the point where when you're having calls with your team, instead of asking them how they're doing, you just look at the actual raw data that they're responsible for filling in each week. And if they're red for 3 weeks in a row, well, then that means you need to dive in and figure out what part of that process needs to be optimized for it to be green. If you're green for 3 weeks in a row, well, maybe this target is too low. Let's bump that up a little bit and see if we can start to get hit yellows, which means that we're coming up against the target that we set for ourselves, almost there, but we're not quite green yet. You want to get to green for a couple weeks in a row before you reset your targets, and you want to take note of if you're red for 3 weeks in a row, well, then something's off, and you need to dig in and have a issues brainstorm with you and the person that is doing that task, and execute some projects to try to make that a green. I just can't think of a better way, just a visual representation for how your business is running. I show you exactly how to set up this scorecard system inside of that template. You would just go to the first page and it shows you how to set up that stoplight. You need to run your business off of data, otherwise you're using just gut feel, and that is no way. You can't run your business on instinct alone. You need to look at the reality of who is doing what and what output is being produced in your business. But having a stoplight system is critical. I would say that is the third most important tool that you need. Fourth most important tool is an email system called Front. This is Front right here. Basically what it is it's a team-based inbox, meaning I can see my executive assistant's inbox, she can see my inbox. As an admin, I can see every one of my team members' inbox if I wanted to, and I can assign an email to my executive assistant. So I would just click on assign, and I would click on her name, and it would get assigned to her inbox. And the coolest part of all is underneath of the email thread, you can actually talk with people on your team about that email. It is relevant and contextual conversations about emails. This is the best way also to train your executive assistant on how to handle emails. You can talk to her about, potentially what to say to respond to that. And you can create tags and routing, and it's really just the coolest way to bring all of your company's emails into one centralized place. Get out of Gmail, use Front, route all of your communication into Front. That way you can assign emails to other people and you can have contextual conversations about your emails underneath. It really is, I don't know what I would do without it. At this point, I use it every single day religiously, And it's also great for tagging and automations, and it's just, there's a lot you can do with it, but just centralizing your team's email communication so you can have conversations about emails is imperative. I highly recommend that if you are delegating in your business. The fifth best delegation tool is a project management system. Project management gets thrown around a lot, but basically what that is it's a fancy checklist. What am I going to be working on? What are we doing right now? And what is done? So inside of the 80/20 operating system, the Notion version that we give our members in our mastermind, we have something called the Chaos Controller. And the Chaos Controller, this is a good example of what a solid and simple project management tool looks like. You can also use tools like Trello to accomplish the similar thing. This is split up into the major initiatives or rocks that we decide in our quarterly plans. First one is, in this example, launch 80/20 OS, launch a new market, and then an example, rock number 3. That way that every single initiative that you're doing, you can see that it's related to the things that you said was important. And you can kind of basically drag things around. To do, this is the list of things that you have to do. Doing, these are the things that you're currently doing. These can all be assigned to someone on your team, and it can all have a due date. And these are the things that are done. Very simple, right? And the cool thing about it is these columns right here, shiny object backlog and issues and bottlenecks. Coolest thing about the Chaos Controller is that it allows you to come up with shiny object ideas. Every time you have a shiny object idea, you can put it in this backlog. Coming up with shiny object ideas doesn't mean that you have to start executing it right now. You just put it on this backlog list, and then as you complete your to-do list, you can bring in items from the shiny object backlog during your monthly review meetings to see if there's any ideas that are worth executing on at that moment. So I always tell my clients, yeah, you're a creative entrepreneur, you should be coming up with ideas, but of course, shiny object syndrome will prevent you from staying focused. I don't want you to stop having shiny objects. I just want you to control them and put them in a container. And that's what this is inside of the Chaos Controller project management system. And then, of course, any issues or bottlenecks you can put down here as things to talk about in your next call. And then playbooks to create. Simple project management system split up between the major initiatives that you're working on is a great way to stay organized, especially to manage your working on the business type of activities. You probably are using a CRM. Inside of your CRM, you have tasks for who to follow up with, who to call, what comps to pull. That's all separate. That's operational system. I'm glad that you're using a CRM. You should be using a CRM. But when it comes to executive level projects, like who you're going to hire, what systems are we going to install, financial decisions, and things like that, we're going to use a project management system. Otherwise, it's not really going to get done. If it just exists in your head and it's not visually represented in something like this, well, then how can you ever delegate things to your team? This way, you can start to look at what your team is doing, seeing the progress getting made as things are getting dragged to the done column. We also use a tool called Asana, which is a little bit more advanced. For now, I just recommend a simple tool where you can have a to-do list and you can drag it into doing when you're actually working on it, and then done when it's complete, as well as a way to document all those ideas that might be good ideas but aren't really relevant to what is important right now. And you can look at that every month and drag it in accordingly. So another tool, a little bonus tool, would be a daily huddle. Daily huddles are a great way to stay in sync with your team on a day-to-day basis to make sure that everybody's got what they need. This is a simple tool. This is a simple agenda you can use right here. Every morning, just 15 minutes maximum, you can meet with your whole team, whether it's your whole company, if you don't have under 7 people in your total company, or just in your team, right? You might have a marketing team, and you can just meet with all 5 marketing people, and you ask, what are we doing today? Everybody goes and what they're doing today. What are some blockers or things that they might need from you in order to execute what they're doing today? And any specific action items that result from those 2 things. That's it. It creates great camaraderie. You don't want to get derailed. Literally just stick to this agenda, and you're going to have momentum every single day by doing this. You're going to know exactly what everybody's up to, and everybody will have a container to share things that might be blocking them. So this little bonus tool for delegation is doing a daily huddle. Again, if you want access to the stoplight system, then go to join8020.com/template. You'll get to download your own version of this spreadsheet. And if you want to chat with one of our 80/20 strategy experts, you can book a time on here and chat with someone on my team to see if you'd be a fit to go from where you're at now, which is ideally 6 figures in annual revenue. I will show you how to install an 80/20 operating system, make the right strategic moves, and surround yourself with 180 other active investors that are right in your shoes that you can network with on a weekly basis, actually twice a week, to scale your business to 7 figures annually and beyond, ideally without you at the helm of your business. So schedule a call with someone on my team. They'll kind of make sure that you're a great fit, explain how everything works, and we'll get you signed up on this journey. But I hope that this video helped you. Those are the 5 best tools for delegation if you're in the real estate investor world. My name is Dan Schwartz. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And I'd like to hear kind of what stuck. Just leave a comment below. What was useful? What other tools would you recommend? This is an open community for feedback, so I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.